I left my own wedding after my fiancée secretly allowed her family's kids but excluded my daughter. Now everyone's calling me the villain. Need advice, Reddit. Hey Reddit, I'm in a bizarre situation and could use some impartial opinions. I've heard this is the place for honest feedback, so here's my story. Sorry if it's lengthy. My world turned upside down 2 days ago and I'm still processing. For context, I'm a 35-year-old guy with a 10-year-old daughter from a prior marriage. My ex-wife and I split 7 years ago, but we co-parent our daughter, Lily, seamlessly. We split custody evenly, attend her school functions together, and keep things amicable. There's no lingering romance between us. Our relationship is strictly co-parenting, and I thought that was a positive thing. Apparently, not everyone agreed. Enter my now ex-fiancée, Sarah, 33, whom I dated for 3 years and was engaged to for 1. Sarah chose to be child-free, which I respected, but she knew from the start that Lily was a non-negotiable part of my life. I was upfront about my daughter being my priority. Sarah seemed fine with it initially. She was polite to Lily, though they never bonded deeply. I thought time would bring them closer, but looking back, I missed some warning signs. Sarah would get moody if I had to cancel plans because Lily was unwell or had a school event. Once when my ex dropped by to pick up Lily, Sarah got upset and suggested we handle future exchanges at a neutral spot. I dismissed these as minor issues, hoping they'd resolve. Big mistake. Fast forward to this year, wedding planning. We originally wanted a small event, but it ballooned into a grand affair, mostly because of Sarah's large family and her vision. A major issue arose: kids at the wedding. I wanted Lily there, maybe as a junior bridesmaid. Sarah, however, insisted on a child-free wedding, saying kids could disrupt the vibe and she wanted one day focused on us as adults. I pushed back, saying Lily wasn't just any kid, she's my daughter. Sarah argued that allowing Lily would upset other guests who were told no kids. She essentially asked me to act like I didn't have a daughter for one day. It sparked our biggest argument. I almost called off the engagement, but Sarah convinced me we'd make it up to Lily later with a special family moment. Reluctantly, I agreed, though it felt wrong. Telling Lily she couldn't attend was gut-wrenching. I felt like I was letting her down. When we explained to Lily that the ceremony was adults, only she was unfazed, saying, "That's fine, can I stay with Nana instead?" Her calm acceptance made me feel even worse. I promised her a fun day later to compensate, trying to convince myself that one compromise didn't make me a bad dad. The wedding day arrived 2 days ago at a stunning venue. I was in my suit greeting guests, feeling a mix of nerves and excitement. Everything seemed perfect until it wasn't. 30 minutes before the ceremony, my older sister pulled me aside, confused, and whispered, "I thought kids weren't allowed." I looked out and saw Sarah's 2 young nephews in the front row, laughing, and her cousin holding a toddler. My side of the guest list: no kids at all. My family, including Lily, had followed the no kids rule. My heart sank. I felt betrayed and furious. I found Sarah in a side room getting her makeup done. She was surprised to see me. I asked, "Why are there kids here, Sarah? We agreed no kids." She tried to brush it off, saying, "Oh, who brought kids? That wasn't supposed to happen." I pointed out her nephews and cousin's toddler. She sighed and admitted, "Okay, I let a few family members bring their kids. I couldn't say no, they're family. Can we just get through the ceremony and talk later? It's not a huge issue." I was floored. Not a huge issue. You made me exclude my daughter because you didn't want kids here, and now your family's kids are here. How is that fair? She got defensive, saying I was overreacting. I said, "You lied to me and deliberately kept my daughter away." Sarah snapped. "I just wanted one day about us. I was scared that if Lily was there, I'd feel like you and your ex were still a family, and I'd be left out. I didn't want to feel like a second wife on my wedding day." That was all I needed to hear. Her jealousy and insecurity were clear. I felt a cold resolve. I told her, "If my daughter isn't welcome, I'm not doing this. There's no wedding without Lily." And I walked out. Yes, I left my own wedding. Never thought I'd be that person, but there I was. I headed to the parking lot, got in my car, and drove off. One of my groomsmen tried to stop me, but I just said, "Ask Sarah what she did," and kept going. My best friend jumped in the car with me, and I handed him my phone, which was blowing up with calls. He silenced it after telling a few people I was okay, and the wedding was off. I drove to my parents' house, where Lily was staying. They couldn't attend due to health issues. She was in her pajamas, eating pizza with my mom, blissfully unaware of the chaos. I scooped her up in a hug, probably overwhelming her with how emotional I was. I told my parents the wedding was canceled, and they just nodded, giving me space to process. That night I checked my phone. Sarah had left voicemails, first pleading for me to return, then furious, calling me every name imaginable for embarrassing her. Her family and friends texted, saying I was heartless. Some mutual friends asked for my side, as Sarah was claiming I got cold feet. I didn't reply to anyone. My family and friends have been fully supportive. My mom, who usually stays out of my relationships, said she had a bad feeling when Lily was excluded but didn't want to interfere. My dad said, "I'm proud of you. Never settle for someone who doesn't accept every part of you, including your daughter." Even some of Sarah's relatives, once they heard the full story, reached out to say they understood my choice. My sister spread the word among guests, and many have been sympathetic. Instead of a honeymoon, I'm now in my apartment. I couldn't stay in the house Sarah and I rented. I've spent the weekend cycling through anger, grief, and relief. I feel bad for the public embarrassment I caused Sarah and wonder if I should have gone through with the ceremony and dealt with it privately. Was it unfair to the guests who traveled for a wedding that didn't happen? Sarah's family thinks I'm a monster, but staying would have meant pretending everything was fine when it wasn't. I couldn't make vows based on a lie. Maybe walking out was dramatic, but if I'd stayed, I might have done something worse, like calling her out during the ceremony. This way it ended before false promises. I'm heartbroken, angry, and numb. I loved Sarah, but her actions, prioritizing her jealousy over my daughter's feelings, are unforgivable. So Reddit, am I the jerk for walking out of my wedding because my fiancé excluded my daughter? Should I have stayed and confronted her later to avoid the drama? I'm a mess and need perspective. Update 1. 2 days later, thank you all for the feedback, advice, and awards. I'm new to Reddit, so the support caught me off guard, in a good way. I've been reading your comments, and I'm so grateful for the encouragement. The consensus seems to be that I'm not the jerk, which I kind of felt but doubted in the moment. Your input has given me clarity and strength. A few common questions came up, so I'll address them. Did I know Sarah disliked Lily? Honestly, I didn't realize how deep it went. Many of you pointed out I ignored red flags, and you're right. I was in denial, wanting the relationship to work. Sarah was polite to Lily but never tried to connect. She'd get annoyed if I prioritized Lily's needs, and she once suggested I not display Lily's photos in our home to keep the decor about us. Looking back, that was a huge red flag. Was Sarah's jealousy justified? Not at all. My ex-wife, let's call her Emma, respects boundaries. She's remarried and we co-parent smoothly. There's no flirtation or drama. I told Emma about this yesterday and she was furious about Sarah's actions. She said Lily's lucky to have a dad who puts her first. That meant a lot. What did I tell Lily? I kept it simple for her age. She knows the wedding didn't happen. I explained that Sarah and I weren't right for each other, stressing it had nothing to do with her. I didn't mention the exclusion to avoid upsetting her. She took it well, even joking. Weddings are boring anyway, Dad. If she asks more, I'll be honest but gentle. Have I spoken to Sarah? Not directly, just a few texts about logistics. I went to our rented house with a friend to grab my stuff. Sarah wasn't there, but her mom and sister were. Her mom muttered that I should be ashamed, but we ignored it. I took my clothes, documents, and Lily's photos. Those weren't staying behind. I left my key and walked out. I'm considering breaking the lease and letting Sarah's family handle the fallout, as it was more her dream house. The engagement ring was her grandmother's, so I returned it via her mom. No financial hit there. Wedding costs? I paid some vendor deposits, her parents covered others. I don't care about the money, it's worth it to be free of this. Your comments, from calling it a dodged bullet to saying Lily will always know I stood up for her, hit me hard. I'm still processing the pain of losing someone I loved, but my daughter's security comes first. I'll update if there's more to share. For now, I'm eating ice cream with Lily, forgetting the wedding diet and focusing on the positives. Thanks for the validation. Update 2, 1 week later, hey Reddit, back with another update. A lot's happened, and writing this is oddly cathartic. I hope it's okay to keep sharing. Your support has been incredible. It's been a week since the non-wedding. I'm feeling better, though it's still an emotional ride. Lily and I took a spontaneous weekend trip to the beach, using my honeymoon PTO. Building sandcastles with her was way better than a honeymoon with someone who didn't accept her. On to Sarah. I've had little contact, but there's news. A few days after my last update, she sent a long email. It started with an apology but quickly turned into self-justification. She said she acted out of fear of losing me, feeling overshadowed by my bond with Lily and Emma. She wrote, I was afraid if Lily was at the wedding, I'd feel like you were thinking of Emma, and I wanted to be the focus. It confirmed her jealousy drove her actions, which stung. She even implied I should have understood her struggle. I never compared her to Emma. She created that narrative herself. I didn't reply. I started therapy through my job's EAP, and my therapist read the email with my permission. They said it seemed manipulative, even if unintentional, and advised minimal contact except for logistics. Speaking of which, I paid Sarah's parents for the rehearsal dinner costs they requested, not because I owe them, but to avoid more drama. I canceled our honeymoon reservations, getting a partial credit from the resort after explaining the situation. We had a $2,000 joint wedding fund. I split it evenly and closed the account. Sarah's dad demanded I give it all to her, but I refused, saying he could take it to court. I sent her half, and that's that. My family's been amazing. My dad and I had beers, and he shared wisdom about needing a partner who isn't intimidated by strong family ties. He admitted he never warmed to Sarah but stayed quiet. Lily's thriving, focused on Halloween and her costume. She hasn't mentioned Sarah. Your stories about step-parenting and blended families have been eye-opening, reinforcing that I dodged a toxic situation. I'm at peace with my choice and will be cautious about future partners. They'll need to pass a dad's approval test for how they treat Lily. I'll update if anything big happens, but I'm hoping for calm. Thanks for being there. Update 3, 1 month later. Hi Reddit. I wasn't sure I'd update again, but some developments feel worth sharing and many of you have checked in. I'm grateful. It's been a month since the chaos. I've settled into a new apartment, smaller but homey. Lily and I had a decorating day, and she made a no meanies allowed sign with a unicorn taped to our door. Our place is filled with her photos and artwork, things I couldn't display with Sarah. It feels like our space now. I've had almost no contact with Sarah. 2 weeks ago, she left a box at my parents' with a letter and a necklace she'd given Lily. The letter apologized, saying she didn't hate Lily and hoped to be part of her life. She said she couldn't keep the necklace and thought I might give it to Lily someday. It felt more like she was seeking sympathy than genuinely atoning. My therapist agreed it wasn't worth engaging. I didn't respond, and my mom stored the box. I'll hold off giving Lily the necklace unless she asks about it. From a mutual friend, I hear Sarah's in therapy and staying with her parents. I hope she finds peace, but I'm done with that chapter. My family's been incredible. My sister's hanging out more, jokingly trying to set me up with a kind, single mom. My parents have been supportive, and even Emma invited Lily and me to dinner with her and her husband. It was relaxed, proving there's no weird tension despite Sarah's fears. I'm so glad I walked out. The alternative, years of conflict or Lily feeling unwanted, is unthinkable. Life's settling down and I'm hopeful. Thanks for your support, it's meant the world. Update 4. Final update, 6 months later. Hey Reddit, it's been 6 months since my life turned into a drama series. This is probably my last update. Things are calm and I'm moving forward. Lily's thriving. She's 11 now, in 5th grade and obsessed with skateboarding. We celebrated her birthday at an amusement park, the same place I proposed to Sarah, which felt like a reclaimed memory. Riding coasters with Lily was pure joy. I'm doing well as a single dad. I adopted a silly shelter dog that Lily and I adore. Between work, parenting, and dog walks, I stay busy. Therapy's been a game changer, helping me process the rough days. I don't hold anger towards Sarah anymore. She's out of my life. I hear she's still working on herself, and I wish her well from a distance. Funny twist. Emma's pregnant, and Lily's excited to be a big sister. Sarah would have struggled with that news, which reinforces my relief. Dating? I've tried a couple casual outings, including coffee with my sister's coworker, a nice single mom. Nothing serious yet. I'm focused on Lily and myself. No rush. Your support was a lifeline when I was doubting myself. You helped me see I made the right call. I'm no longer the guy who walked out. I'm just a dad who chose his daughter. Life's good and I'm excited for what's next. Thanks Reddit for everything. Signing off.